city. When we talk, you vibe. Capital FM.
You don't know who it is, it's truly
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Capital FM 99.7.
It is 99.7 right here on Capital FM, and if you have been tuned in, well, it's time for that conversation I have been talking about, and of course, just giving you a snippet of what period poverty is in the country, what is happening, and how these challenges get to affect women and girls on a daily basis. Joining me in the studio this morning is Foster Fedora, and she is the CEO and founder of Girl Zone Empowerment, and of course, Alexander Muhango, who is Girl Zone Associate Ally, and he is also a mental health advocate. Good morning to both of you, and good morning, and welcome to Capital FM.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
I am glad. I've been saying that I'm glad we have a man in the studio.
I'm glad too. Which we are trying to break the stigma around
Indeed.
Menstrual Hygiene Day.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now to someone who is tuned in and they might not be familiar with what Girls on Empowerment is all about, Fedora, maybe you can just give us a snippet of what it is all about, and of course, an ally. As Girls on Empowerment, you can also let us know what you do there as a man.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I'm happy and glad to be here as always. And I feel more privileged, especially a day like this where we advocate for health and also gender equality, which is one of our thematic areas for Girls on Empowerment Foundation. So Girls on Empowerment Foundation is committed in fostering safe, inclusive, and a non-judgmental environment where we open a safe space for both girls and women, persons with disability, and not forgetting the male allies. That's why Alexander is here with me as our ally associate. So for Girls on Empowerment Foundation, it's there to dismantle all different inequalities that exist in a woman, that exist in a man, and for why I keep on mentioning men or a boy or a man, it's because these are more like our supporters. If they are not well informed with issues that affect women, especially period poverty, it means we'll continue facing different inequalities or discrimination. So basically, Girls on Empowerment, it's a safe space for everyone. So when you come into our space, we don't judge regardless where you are coming from, whatever you are lacking. When you come in our space, everything that we discuss, everything that we do, it's so inclusive. We don't discriminate. It's a safe space for everybody out there. Maybe Alexander can contribute in case he has anything to add.
Wow, thank you. And if you just hear from the word Girls on Women Empowerment, so the word itself, empowerment, should tell you a lot about what we do. And from the word Girls on, it actually refers to something that we actually focus on empowering women, empowering the girl child, mostly the vulnerable. So that's the group of people that we are trying to deal with. And part of our thematic areas, we focus on fostering professional growth to these people. We offer mentorship to these people, and by so doing, we know that at some point these people are getting to have experience. These people are getting to understand the different norms that exist in society. And having me here as a male, it actually tells a lot that there are so many norms that go around in our society. And one of them is, people talk about a woman or a girl child, having undergoing that process, menstruation. It seems to be a case, or it seems to be something that is, someone is very dainty in that sense. So for me, being here as a man, it actually shows that Girls On is doing a lot, because we will not end this issue not unless we deal with the guys, we deal with the young boys, because it comes from, there's a saying that says charity begins at home. So if in our homes as young men, as young boys, we're not taught about what period is, then we'll have these stereotypes concerning these girls who are facing such. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Like I said, it's great to hear it from, the other gender, because, it's rare that you get to have a man talk about these issues. For you to be here in the studio, it will definitely be a great conversation. Now, of course, as we observe this day, what does it mean to you personally, first, Foster, and to you as a man, Alexander, when we talk about such conversations and observing such days, what does it mean to you and to Girls on Empowerment organization as well?
Okay. To me, this day is so special. Like I mentioned from the beginning, that we are fighting for different SDGs, but the main important SDGs that Girls on focus on, it's health. And health in general. If a woman is not healthy, it means they are not wealth. And also regarding to gender equality, if we are not receiving the things that we are supposed to receive, the dignity that we are supposed to enjoy, the rights that we are supposed to enjoy, or even just the confidence that a woman is supposed to enjoy, it means this day it's nothing. Remember, this day it came from a German company, which was WASH. And the 28th, the day of this celebration was chosen because the 28th is the number of a cycle when a woman should have their periods. And we know in our Zambian context it's different to other developed countries, because we know that for them they have easy access to resources compared to us. Even up to now, Womba, we are still facing different inequalities towards menstrual hygiene. We are still lacking, even just you as Womba, it's not all the time that you have access to menstrual products. And we are still facing a lot of high prices in menstrual products, because menstrual products is not just sanitary pads. We have different sanitary pads that come from different companies. But for a woman to be comfortable, these sanitary products, it accompanies with a pant that you are supposed to wear. How comfortable your pant should it be? Is it a pant that is loose, or a pant that you've worn for 1 year without changing it? Those are the questions that we need to ask. And we've seen a number of girls facing all these challenges. And many girls, they are not free or open enough to speak about these issues that are private into their personal lives. Aside to that, we have different comfortable sanitary towels. We teach our girls with these different products. We have tampons, we have pads, we have reusable sanitary pads. We have quite a number. And these sanitary products, it also depends a place where you are. When we go to rural areas, it's also a different issue, which we are going to discuss deeper as we go forward with our conversation. When we are in Lusaka, it's also a different experience in general. But Girls On has taken this journey, which, because we clocked 5 years anniversary. That was last year. And before we clocked that anniversary, in October, we had launched an initiative called End Period Poverty in Rural Areas. Because from inception, Girls On had made sure that we distribute different sanitary pads to different communities. But we thought of for the past 3 years, for the past 5 years, we haven't gone to the rural areas. And we know that even those girls are the most vulnerable. Here, yes, there are many girls that are vulnerable, but when we compare to the girls in the rural areas, it's a different issue, because you even find many girls missing school. And we said, okay, why can't we have a rural engagement just for us to distribute even to other places? Because we work hand in hand with different companies, and one of our partners, it's a soft care company. And when we launched that initiative, that was during Independence Day last year. And we said we are going to take this initiative and mobilize some sanitary pads. It wasn't easy. We made sure we printed some tickets that were in 3 categories. There was one that, because we know that for a box of sanitary pads, it's 500 just a box. Yes. And for 2, it means you have to buy, if you are donating 2 boxes, it means 1,000. Yes. And the reason why we did that, for the past 3 years, our partners, they've been donating pads to us, like different boxes, but we are not always enough. Anytime we go to distribute in communities, you find those 3 boxes are not enough, because when we have an activity, girls, we invite even extra people for that activity, which if we go with 5 boxes, it means it will cater only maybe 100, and you find that an activity has got 200 girls who wants to benefit, and for that box it means every girl will just get 1 sanitary pad, which was also making us uncomfortable. And when we reached out to Soft Care Company, they answered to say, you know what, we have a limited number that we donate to charity organizations, because we are here as a profit company, so the only pads that we can donate is just limited. And the last time we had received was about 3 boxes, and we were implementing an activity in Bowling Compound. So just imagine, Bowling Compound has got a number of girls that are vulnerable, and you find if you are hosting an activity like for donation, people will just flock in numbers, and you can't also stop them. So we thought of, okay, let's just implement this activity where we are going to launch they donate a pad campaign for the rural girls, and we printed some tickets. We tried to reach out to different partners, to different individuals, to different allies, but trust me, Womba, it did not work, because people don't value menstruation among girls and women. We tried to reach out to a number, even on social media, but I can assure you, only even the organizations that work around health, I can just mention only maybe 3 donated some sanitary pads, and it was others, it was just 350 for the whole organization. And it was, I can even count, it was about 4. No one bought a box, no one bought like maybe 2 boxes. And from that time, because Girls On is very passionate when it comes to period poverty, fighting for period poverty, advocating for health, and advocating for gender equality, because it always touches our heart. What did we do? We tried to push. Even when it did not work, we reached out to a corporate bank. That was a NatSafe bank at that particular time. But that particular time, that was October, November, December, we did not receive any call. And that time we were also implementing an activity that was there to fight digital violence. Like you can see, Alexander is wearing that T-shirt. Yes, well, we were trying to advocate on different issues that affect women when it comes to mental health and other issues, which is also linked to other issues that link to menstruation as well. So during that period, we only received a call that was January, and it was more like an answered prayer, because the bank had partnered with us. And we were implementing an activity that was for Nchwala ceremony, where it was even very suitable for breaking different stigma, different myths in line with cultural and traditions, because also Girls On, in as much as we fight for human rights, we also value culture and traditions. Yes, but the only thing that we dismantle, it's bad cultural practices. And by that time, when we went in Chipata during the Nchwala ceremony, I can assure you, Womba, it was a success. Even the tickets we did not touch up to now, but even up to now, we are still trying to mobilize so that we can reach other provinces apart from Chipata, which we reached out. And during the Chipata visit, I'll mention one of the things that also touches us the most, why we always donate and who our targeted audience that we reach out, because we saw that many girls, they always feel inferior, they always feel stigmatized, they always lack like self-confidence. And also we don't also sideline the persons with disability. We had to visit a school called Magweru School. That school is for the persons with disability, and it was both two schools, the blind and the deaf. And when we went there, we went with a team of 4, where we had an artist that was advocating for different issues that affect women. We had also a health expert. I had also another facilitator. We saw the mayor. It was a very beautiful experience. We sensitized even to the mayor. Before we could reach out to the community, we went to the Magweru School for the school of blind, and because it was combined, and the deaf. And it was also an amazing experience, because imagine you are sensitizing, you are teaching the girls who are blind. When you tell them, have you seen this product, they can't see. And when we talk to the ones that are deaf, if you talk to them like the way I'm talking to you, they can't hear. We have to use sign language. So it was an amazing experience. And this is when we saw that many girls out there and men, they are lacking when it comes to sanitary products. They don't know where to dispose their waste, because sanitary towels that us women use, it's a process. Remember, it's 5 days, and that 5 days, it depends the body of the woman. Others it can be 5 days, others it can be 3 days, others it can be 7 days, others it can be the whole 1 week. So imagine that period. And imagine the way the hormones, a girl child or a woman, or that girl child who's not well informed, they can't understand their body, how they feel, what they should do. If maybe they have different challenges in terms of maybe cramps, they have maybe stomach cramps. It's so uncomfortable, Womba. I believe even you as a woman, you always feel it. Now imagine girls in the rural where they don't even know the comfortable sanitary products, like maybe tampons. Like for me, I am normally open now, and I'm very confident. I know and I can say what I use, so that a brother out there, a sister out there can know what to buy for me. So imagine in those rural areas, they don't differentiate. For them, it's what they can just use. And we had taken boxes, it was more like a miracle to them. They really because we had taken different products. We had the reusable sanitary pads, we had the disposable sanitary pads, but if I can tell you that they did not even appreciate the disposable ones. They had to they had to treasure the reusable ones. Why? Because for them, they are using the cloth. So to them, if they use that one, they know that it will last longer. And we were teaching them also on how to make. So for them, it was also something that would benefit them, which was also a plus. Like it's more like a generating income for the women to become self-independent. And also it's something that they can wash and reuse. But even in that process, it's not just you using it or you wearing it. It's a process. You need soap that you need to use during that same process. And we see many girls, they don't even have like detergents for washing those sanitary products. They have different myths to say, if you are using maybe a reusable sanitary pads, you can't dry it on the sun or outside or expose it. It means it's a taboo in an African culture, because they believe that there are so many witchcraft practices around, and if they just expose those sanitary pads, they are scared that they can be witched or something. So you find these girls, they just maybe put them under the bed. They don't even dry them that much, and at the end of the day, they also face infection diseases in the vagina. and they also have like some fungal infections, and you find in these places they don't have like nearby hospitals, because if I can tell you that Magweru school, it's away from Chipata town, and these persons with disability, you know, it like we always sideline the persons with disability. When we were there, I was very touched. Yes, on paper the government will talk about the persons with disability and the like, but they don't value them that much. Even this sanitary initiative that the government has put in place, trust me, not everyone has got access to those sanitary pads, even up to date. That's why Girls On, it's there trying to mobilize day and night. We don't sleep. It has more like come part of us. We breathe donating sanitary pads, because we know that vulnerable girl who is out there should benefit. So for us, this day, like for me, this day is really a beautiful day for us to speak out without censoring it, for us to be free to talk about such conversations, such discussions, and the like. And I know as we go forward, we are going to go deeper, so that I give my colleague to add on from what I have said.
Okay.
Yeah.
In case you're just tuning in to Capital FM, this is the mid-morning report, and our topic of conversation this morning is fighting period poverty in Zambia. If you're not aware, today, the 28th of May, we are observing Menstrual Hygiene Day. And of course, in the studio, I have been joined by Foster Fedora, and she is the founder and CEO of Girls Zone Empowerment. And of course, we also have a man in the studio, Alexander Mohango, I beg your pardon. And he is Girls Zone Associate Ally and also a mental health advocate. And of course, we're just talking about period poverty, fighting period poverty in Zambia. You've given quite a whole experience that you had, Foster, in regarding to what Girls On Empowerment did undertake, going to the rural parts of Zambia to experience or to see the difference between what urban areas go through, the difference between being in the urban part of the country and in the rural part of the country.
Yes.
And were you part of that group that went to Chwala? Alexander?
Oh, by that time I had some studies, Okay. Yeah.
All right. But in regarding to you, Alexandra, what sort of challenges from a man's perspective have you noticed girls go through, or when it comes to menstruation?
Well,
or what discussions are there among men when it comes to just menstruation?
Great. Just talking about it today, I think it wouldn't be enough. We can talk about this, I think, I don't know how many times, because when you talk about period itself, it's a big word. It's a big word that needs so much understanding, because it also depends with the perception, how one was raised. Because if I'm to tell you today, if we ask someone from the UK or someone from Zambia or someone from any other part of the world, how they perceive period is different from how I can perceive it. So this is why I'm saying it is a pertinent issue. And also when you talk about period, we're not just simply talking about it being a hygienic issue. No, we also relating it to a mental health issue. Because let me just define maybe mental health, because mental health refers to a person's emotional, psychological, and social well-being. So you'll find that while these girls are experiencing such, there's an emotional component that they're undergoing as well. So now for guys, how we perceive it, it's quite different. I would say for me, how I've seen it, because of the information that I have and the knowledge, it's quite different from those, let me call them Jim and Jacks. Jim and Jacks, because they lack that information. So honestly, it's something big. And I would really say that period, it's not something to be taken as shame. It's either you have to understand it. Yeah.
How has being part of the Girl Zone empowerment organization just enlightened you as as Alexander? Maybe things that you thought happen or myths that you had believed as growing up as a boy, or now you being a male, discussions that you had or you have as males, and you being part of Girls on Empowerment now, dealing with such issues almost on a daily basis. How has it enlightened you?
Wow, that's a big question. That's a big question. So I'm wondering, how should I answer it? In what area, in what angle? Well, for me, I have been enlightened in such a way that it broke so many silences. It gave me answers to the questions that I had, because
What sort of questions?
Questions I had was like, why is it not something women can talk about? Having an open conversation. You'll be surprised that these girls who are still in school, in secondary school, they are not comfortable talking about these issues with their parents. And also the issue is, why are the parents not talking about this issue? And also when it comes to me as a boy child, as a man, you'll find out that even in our homes, my mother never sat me down and say, okay, sit here, you have sisters. If you may wish to know, I grew up from a family where I had sisters. It was a big family. So now, imagine both of my parents never taught me anything concerning that. So imagine they'll just say, no, your sister today is unable to cook. No, she's unclean and all that. But you're wondering, you understand? Why? Why? It's taken to be something sacred, Why is it so? But, growing through Girl Zone, it has taught me so many things. And I've actually seen it. I've had grand experience. I've had open conversations with these people. Imagine I came from a home where I had a sister, but yet I was never informed about all this. I had to discover by myself. I had to learn. Think of it. How many guys are not aware of what period is? We just learn in school. Well, it's a biological process. The shedding of the uterus, that lining, and then it falls as what? As blood and all that. That's what we know. The information that we have is basic, but we don't know the core principle that holds what menstruation is.
Is there, do you feel, more males like you intentionally or deliberately just want to, like you took a deliberate step to just, get involved in Girls on Empowerment and just, get to find out more information or get educated in regarding to menstruation? Do you think we do have more young people like you who would want to, gain that knowledge in regarding to just, what menstruation is all about?
Yeah.
Apart from school, of course.
Yeah, obviously. For me, I feel yes. I think we have people, and I think these people are characterized by how they see the dignity of women first. Because you will not just join anything talking about period. You not join anything that seems to be like, supporting the girl child and all that, if first you don't see the dignity, if you don't see the value of women. So for me, I wouldn't speak on their behalf because we think differently, but what can differentiate them from others is if they're able to see the dignity, if they're able to appreciate their mothers, if we're able to appreciate the women in this world, because we understand that without the same period would have not been here, because period shows that there's healthy, it shows that there's life. Without period, it's something that people start wondering. We can get worried that this person is unable to conceive. But for them to experience that, it means that there's healthy, there's life. So I feel the first step for them to feel, okay, I should join, this team and support the girl child, support the women, I feel is first when they get to understand the dignity and the value and the respect that women deserve.
Okay.
Yes.
Foster, how do you think as a country we have done when it comes to menstrual hygiene education in our communities, in our schools, be it companies as well? Are we being deliberate about this particular subject?
To me, through my observation, I don't think we've done much, because if we had done much, many people would have been informed and they would have taken it as a health issue. But up to now, it's something whereby even just today you just decide to say, I've gone on Mother's Day. Even just your boss will question you like, Wamba, where are you? They'll even like call you, no, come and work, you know, which means they don't read it so fast to say every month a woman needs to take a break. A break shouldn't be 2 days or 1 day. And imagine today, maybe I start shedding today. It doesn't mean that the reaction will just start just there and then. The crucial days are maybe the 2nd day, 3rd day to 4th day. And you see many companies, many organizations that work around healthy, there are few that have taken it as like the first priority. Because imagine today, if I don't have like sanitary pads, I don't have that education, trust me, I can't even go anywhere. And trust me, even just in universities, if universities, schools, if they had done so much, even just University of Zambia wouldn't have closed today. It's also lack of proper education of how to dispose maybe sanitary towels. If they knew how to dispose waste, if they had proper waste sanitary bins, I don't think the school would have been lacking when it comes to wash or maybe sanitation and the like. It means we are still lacking behind. If we were at the same pace, even just companies on a daily basis, they would have just been volunteering to say, okay, let's check in schools. I think this school, it doesn't have proper sanitary bins. It doesn't have maybe proper toilets. Because up to now, Wamba, 2 weeks ago, I was by Intercity. I was looking for a toilet. I couldn't find a proper toilet that is clean, because you know the vagina is very sensitive for a woman. That's why we normally need proper toilets, because it's prone to get any infections. And that particular time, it was hard for me to access a toilet. When I found a toilet by just by the filling station, by just chicken somewhere there. When I visited the toilet, yes, it was quite clean, but not very clean for a woman. And you can't even sit on the pot. But when I entered the toilet, when I saw the sanitary bins, they were open. They were like full with a lot of sanitary towels. And that should tell you that many companies, many markets, many organizations, they don't prioritize or to visit or even just to do random inspections to check if truly women are accessing that service. So to me, I think we have a huge gap compared to these other developed countries. Because when you look at these other developed countries, you know, when you visit the girls' toilets or women's toilet or the ladies, you find even where to change. You find even just sanitary pads just placed like the way they place condoms. But here in Zambia, yes, they say there's this project for sanitary pads. To me, I don't think even just the government itself, they're doing so much. Because how many girls are having that same access? And how many girls per person is receiving that per month? Because like for me, if you ask me, to be very honest, I use 2 pads. If I'm using the disposable ones, I have to use 2 packets. Now imagine that person who is very vulnerable. Can they manage to have those? Because in a day, if you have heavy flow, it means you have to use maybe 6 pads per day. And those, the ones that they say that they are cheap sanitary pads, they also leak, which makes a girl not to have that comfortability or have that confidence for them to be in class the whole day. Because imagine if in school, because we are also, Girls On is also encouraging like ending period poverty and keeping girls in school. And imagine you have just 1 packet and you know that you are supposed to use that for 7 days or 5 days. And in that packet, it's packed maybe 8 or even 10 most. And if a person uses 3 in a day, I can say 4 in a day, by 5 days, do you think it's enough? And in schools, they say that they give each girl 1 packet. And some, it's just for incidentals. If maybe a girl child has got an accident, that's when they consider that. So to me, there's a huge gap. And even just those that they are okay, because we have like low-income communities. Even just you, Womba, it's not all the time that your basic needs can always cater that. Sometimes you do lack and you have no one to ask, because at home they know that every time you go for work and they expect that you have money for you to buy, but it's not all the time that you have that access for you to go and buy. Because like for me, the one that I use, if I am using tampons, it doesn't mean if I use a tampon then I just have to wear a tampon. It means on the pant I have to put a pad, I have to insert a tampon. You see, I'm using both. That's 5, maybe there are 10 in each packet, and for the other one it's 10, but I'm using those things at the same time. For me to buy that tampons now, they're about almost 100 kwacha, 80, 60. The lowest, maybe those that have got less, depending with the company, maybe you can access maybe for 40 kwacha or 50. So imagine that gap. So for me, I feel we are still behind and we don't prioritize. Because if I can ask you, even here at Capital FM, do you have like pads that are placed just for free? If I may ask you, have you ever received that from your boss?
We've been working on that with HR.
Okay. You see? Yeah, but to be very honest, in many companies they don't provide that. And Girls On is there to advocate, not for me to be impressed if I ask you that question, or maybe for you to feel a certain way, maybe the interview is being heard by your HR or your boss, but us as Girls On, who've come to sensitize. Sometimes even the HR may not prioritize that, but we are all urging all companies, every place, it can be a school, a boarding school, a whatever, at a workplace, to prioritize that. Even just in a home setup, we need to have like pads that are just placed in case of any accident. We have male allies. They need to understand me. If maybe today I mess up, I shouldn't be laughed. At least if I know that maybe I'm broke, Alexander will just say like, okay, no problem, I'll go and buy for you. We need to normalize such conversation, or menstrual hygiene conversation, whereby even just on my birthday, Womba, I should receive a gift of just sanitary pads and some chocolates. And it should be just a normal thing. Not all the time maybe I receive roses. Yes, roses are beautiful. And if I ask you a bouquet of roses, it's how much? It's almost 500 kwacha. And people will just buy. But for a box that maybe can last me even just the whole year, no one can buy you that. You see? So it means we are still behind. We are still behind, and that's poverty on its own.
Sure.
According to UN, if you, Womba, in a day you can make a 50 kwacha a day. If you can't make a 50 kwacha a day, it means you are poor and you can't even afford the sanitary pads.
Yeah.
You see? So there is a gap which always touches my heart. I know this initiative, it's not just ending now. This same month, I can say not this month, the next month, June, we are selling tickets. We are continuing in the same launch that we launched last year, October. It was in 2 phases. The first phase was Chipata. The second phase, we are supposed to choose any province where there's a traditional ceremony happens, because we are doing a deliberate move to break different myths that exist. Because these myths, they will tell you that when you go to church, when you're on menstrual hygiene, it's unclean, you're not supposed to appear. And for us as Girls On, we come to break such stereotypes. If I'm on menstruation, it's a natural thing. It's very normal. It's my right to exercise that thing that I did not even choose, but God just created me to shed that blood. It makes me to be a whole woman when I'm menstruating, you know. And that's just like a period phase that a woman go through, and it reaches another stage when it's menopause or whatever. So there are so many things that we are lagging behind. Education also. As I was becoming matured, I wasn't taught on how to dispose waste. Sometimes they will just say, like, even just up to now, many girls, they will tell them that, okay, when you're on your menses, whether it's a disposable one, you're supposed to wash it, you see. But you know, when it comes to hygiene purposes, Womba, us as girls on, we teach without censoring. Because for me, I went through a stage whereby I did not get that education. And now, because I'm informed, it's my duty also to pass that information regardless, whether it's male, female, boy, or whatever. They need to know. I have a son. My son is very young, but he knows when we come with boxes of sanitary pads, even if he hasn't reached that stage of understanding what we use them for, but at least he has that understanding to say, they're for girls. These are for girls, you know. But when the right time comes, he will understand that, okay, it's for girls because they shed every month. And you find, even now, because of lack of education, many women, even older ones, they don't know how to take care of themselves during their menses. You find they'll just be changing pads without even taking a bath. We teach all those issues. How many times should a woman bath? Because when you're menstruating, that's blood. And blood, if it stays for a long time, and that's not just like normal blood, it's waste blood. Like the body is shedding, those are waste matters that are coming from the body. And if you don't keep yourself clean, you find, one, you start smelling, two, infections will appear on you. So we make sure we teach them how to have like a sanitary bag, which is a plastic bag. The moment you go in the bathroom, you need to carry everything. It's something, yes, everyone needs to know that you're on your menses, it's okay, but you need also to take care of yourself. I know in our culture, we keep it as a secret, but it's not all the time that we need to have those cultural beliefs or whatever. Suppose you are on a journey, long journey, we are going to Livingstone and you mess up with your driver. What are you going to do? So we want to normalize such conversations. And today being the menstrual hygiene day, for me, I just speak it. Whenever I have a male friend, whether boyfriend or just male colleague or whatever, I just speak. If I'm on my P's, I'm on my P's. Yes. So it should something that we need all to take the responsibility to break all different stereotypes, all different myths, so that a woman should feel comfortable. Even if today I mess up, Alexander shouldn't laugh at me. He should just like, okay, you've messed up. Let me go and pick up the pad at the nearby shop.
And actually, you've just reminded me of a certain experience I had, I think, in grade 8, 9, something like that. I was in the Copper Belt. And then such a thing had happened while classes were on. And then, you know, it was...
People
I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how I can express it. You know, I was wondering, so what's happening?
Yes.
You know, we're all chased out of class. No, God. And then, you know, the other girls said, no, now for me blood, now for me, you know, it was in the Copper Belt. Yeah? Blood, what's that? You know, it was something like she was being laughed at.
Oh, shit.
The girl could not report, I think, for 2 weeks
to school.
Yes, she could not she could not report. Why? Because of that stigma. Like I talked about it, this is also linked to mental health. It's not just about hygiene. It's not about you having those good quality pads. It's not about the issue of having those quality pads, but how are people responding to that? Are people accepting? This is a very big issue. Are people accepting?
It is, yeah.
When you talk about the three basic elements of what mental health is, I talked about the emotional component. Emotional component, it deals with how one feels. So how did that person feel? Number two, the psychological. What thoughts did that person have?
Exactly.
Because you'll be thinking of yourself, so I messed up big time, you know. yeah, it can be something that people can laugh at and all that, but how did the person receive that? For that reason, people now end up having prolonged depression.
Exactly.
You see that, right? The social well-being. Can that person still interact with the guys? The guys will be like, no, you are dirty.
Yes.
Because of what they saw. So she'll have those kind of thoughts. She'll have that stigma. She'll have depression. And also, talking of period poverty, you get to notice that it also robs the time for girls to be in school. I think it was Mzinga Men who mentioned that. She talked about that. You know what that means? Like the way she talked about here is for some other ladies it might take even 7 days. For some it's 4 days, but let's just make it to be general, 3 days. Now when you calculate 12 by 3, because we're counting January, February, you know, all the months.
Yes.
That means it's 36 days. It's 36 days in a year that someone will miss school.
Yeah.
And the worst case scenario is university level, where people, you know, you're having lecturers, they're capturing. They're capturing. You be turned into a meme, into a sticker.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
So these issues are very serious.
They are serious. Yes.
They are very serious. Now think of someone who is in the rural compound, rural area. Even here, it's still the same issue. Oh, okay, yes, the government tried that strategy of introducing free pads, but how many are having access to that?
True.
And is it consistent?
Is it that's another
Yes,
question.
I
True.
like
Is
that.
it consistent? No. The answer is no. But if I'm to tell you, if you were to move around all the universities, Unza, what you'll find free condoms. But you come to notice again that sex is a choice.
It is a choice.
It's a choice. But is menstruation a choice?
No, it's not. And you're not talking about, distribution of condoms. I think one of the ceremonies, actually, there was news that they had distributed, I don't know how many
It was
condoms.
a million, I
Yes.
think.
Then you're like, why can't initiatives like, distributing such, to traditional ceremonies, having free sanitary pads to girls? Why can't we have such initiatives?
It's like we're encouraging, let's have more sex.
Yes.
And they know what's happening there is sex. But what if someone, because for most people here, I think we have smartwatches, phones, which can track on which day one can be attended.
Yeah,
but
true.
think of that person there. It just happens to them. They're even, they get surprised as well. Oh, so this is what's happening. They don't know when is the next cycle. Why? Because of the information, that knowledge they don't have. They just find it. This thing is happening. Like that, you shun away from the community. Like that, you can't tell your parents. And most people, they would rather prioritize buying basic needs. Did you know that? Because it's not like this issue we're talking about, everyone can afford those comfortable. She talked about tampons. Tampons, you check in ShopRite, how much are they? It's not just about having pads, but is the pad you're using of good quality? Because everyone wants something that is of good quality. And something that is of not a good quality, it brings up issues. She talked about it might be damaged, it might be causing some leaks. So what happens now? So most parents, you find they prioritize, okay, let's buy mini meal because of a low income house.
Yes.
So what can you do now? This is why now you find most of the ladies missing school, most of the ladies bothering their boyfriends. In worst case scenario, it should be the parents, especially the mother, knowing this, because I'm sure by that age women should know. We don't expect them not to know. It's by default, they know. Imagine a 40-year-old mother, doesn't she know what period is? But again, she takes it to be something like, not that important. It's better they eat than buying what? We're not refusing. Yeah, people should eat, but are you also considering? It's an issue of being considerate and putting that on the budget. So you find in these places where they are unable to offer such, these girls end up now bothering boyfriends. Babe, what if that boyfriend doesn't have? They now have another source, and that same guy after that say, okay, when you are done, you should come at my place. They're being used just because someone bought you sanitary pads.
And
think of it.
Yeah, I like what you've brought up, the issue of like there's, because of period poverty, there's also a high number of prostitution currently in universities, just among the women. And it has to show you to say period poverty really exists. If it didn't exist, everyone would have had like access to that sanitary pad. But now, because you see many girls, they are just lacking for a pad, which is almost like 30 kwacha or 25 kwacha. And if they see it they ask their boyfriend just for them to exchange sex over a sanitary pads. It's really a shame, even just to the country as a whole, because us as Girls on Empowerment Foundation, we are trying to strike a balance for gender equality. And for the past 5 years, we've been advocating for this, and we feel even more proud because with our partners, Soft Care Company, they have even reduced the price, whereby the most it has to be, the most expensive one, it has to be 25 kwacha or 28, not above that. If you hear or you find a shop selling it at 50 kwacha, you have to report them, because we've tried to advocate to make it as lower as possible. So you see many girls, because in their homes they are not being gifted with any sanitary products, and if they find a boyfriend who gives them that, they feel so flushed, they feel so loved, when it's just a normal thing, which even just them, through their upkeep, they can even just manage to buy the sanitary pads. Because Womba, when we look at menstruation or periods, or muchinyanja makambati at ulikumwezi, especially the eastern part of Zambia, they say that. In that situation, it's also not an easy situation, like Alexander mentioned, to say it also affects the psychological part.
It does.
You find before the menstrual hygiene, or maybe before period starts, our bodies as women are different. Here we are more informed that we have the apps that he mentioned, but people in villages, they don't even master their body. By now, with the experience that I've had, I know my body very well. Even if I haven't checked on the app, even if I haven't whatever, I will know the signs with my body, because now I've come to embrace it.
When I start feeling like this,
yes.
But the thing about menstruation, again, it's very weird.
Yes.
There are certain signs that will come. You won't even notice, because it's not the same each and every single time.
Exactly. Yes.
There are times you're like,
Yes.
I'm feeling like this. I'm
Yes.
being emotional. I'm craving
Yes.
for this because I'm about to get to my menstruation.
Exactly.
But there are certain signs you won't even notice that this is because of
Exactly.
menstruation until it starts. Then you're like, that is the reason I felt like that.
Exactly. and it comes different. Every woman is different. And the way she has mentioned, to say every month is a different situation. Sometimes you just find before you're just moody. You even wonder, why am I flipping? And you won't even know it. And sometimes you have like terrible cramps, which I also feel it for the girls. Like those girls that maybe when you've just like gotten matured, because the body is now like
Adjusting.
yes, and they have like terrible cramps, like Wamadwala Mumala, and they don't even know what to take.
And endometriosis is the name of
Yes.
such cramps.
Exactly,
which
like
affects a lot of
terrible,
women as well.
exactly, terrible cramps.
I think I have one friend. She's doing medicine at
Yes.
Levi. She talked about a situation where she knows someone who reaches to that extent of crawling.
Exactly, even fainting.
Yes.
Even signs like the signs of pregnancy. Sometimes they come like like those signs when you're pregnant. They can also like show up when you're menstruating. Sometimes you have diarrhea. They come differently. So imagine what a woman go through. That's just a phase just on menstruation days until the last cycle. And you have to take care of yourself with the personal hygiene. You nurse yourself, And if it's a home where a girl child maybe is very vulnerable, like is being kept or whatever, they won't even understand
There's
that.
no exemption.
Exactly.
You have to do the chores.
The chores, even if, and you know, our culture, they even say like, period sikudwala. You get my point?
Yes, there's such
Be strong, period sikudwala. So you make sure in the morning you wake up, you do the chores. You only sleep when you're done with the chores. So many girls, they face different inequalities.
And maybe not going very far.
Yeah.
Maybe that is far-fetched.
Yes.
We're having one of the conversations with some guys in campus, you know. They were saying, you know, there are these girls who smell like dry fish. What do you mean, guys? Dry
Yes.
fish? That can smell mungani. What's that? Those girls who, you know, when they're on period. So now you come to think of it, these people not having maybe the necessary
Sanitary
perfumes,
yes.
it's not enough.
Yes, actually, it's very good that you've brought up those issues. You know, like it's not just sanitary products; it's just a word. But what you need, it's a lot.
There's a lot,
Yes,
yes,
you
there's a
need
lot.
soap, you need roll-on, you need perfumes, you need body what? That's like when you just from bathing, you spray
Right,
yourself.
what body mist.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's different. There are other women where you're just naturally clean. You don't even need that. It's just a bath and whatever. But we normally encourage girls like at least bath 3 times a day and change pads 3 times a day. It's just the same as you have a baby. How many times are you going to change the diapers? It's just the same, because down there it's very sensitive and it's clean. You can start itching, you can start smelling, and as a girl child, as a woman, those are things that you need to take care of yourself. You need to use the right products, because there are certain right products where if you're using, like for example, I've used soft care, I've used always, I've used even like now I'm at a stage where I'm using tampons, but I know many people have got different needs towards tampons, but for me it's a comfortable sanitary product that I appreciate so much. Because it, especially for me who travels most of the time, when you insert it, you just have a pad. It's you feel it that now it's full, I'm uncomfortable, I need to dispose it. But for sanitary pad also, sometimes it gets uncomfortable, whereby you're just feeling wet. You know that now I'm not okay. You see, so a woman go through a lot. They go through a lot. They need so much, and you find many girls, they can't even afford a 50 kwacha a day. So where are we going as a country? Where are we going with these organizations that work around healthy? Even just this day, yes, we are here at Capital FM, we are talking about Menstrual Hygiene Day, but how many have taken keen interest to celebrate it? Even just these aspiring candidates that wants to vote, how many have prioritize this day? Or maybe just to say like, oh, me, I'm an aspiring, today I need to donate to a charity organization and give these boxes for them to go maybe in the community. How many?
And you know, just them be deliberately just talking
Yes.
about period poverty, what they would do about
Exactly.
it. It's rare that
It's-
you know you
exactly.
hear aspiring candidates talking
Yes.
about what I can do about period
Exactly.
poverty.
Mm.
If it's not the man, it's rare that you bring up such topics.
Exactly. And you find these, they say, we want to work with the community, we want to help a girl child, but this is a special day. It's more like a birthday for a girl child or a woman. What are you doing about it? Even if you can't donate a 350 or 500 to Girls On or whatever, what are you doing if you can't give? For me, I would rather, if I can't donate, at least I preach about it. At least I educate somebody. At least exactly.
Money will never be enough.
Money will never be enough, but at the end of the day, no one is too poor not to receive, or no one is too rich not to receive, or no one is too poor not to give.
Yes.
So
And also you see it's like a situation, I think, as you were talking, I felt there's so much need even for the people who are differently able.
exactly.
Now imagine someone who is crippled and born in a family, or is involved or is in such a family where they're able to support such. What happens?
And it's very true,
What
Alexander.
happens? Okay, they don't have a boyfriend. You know, these fine girls, what and what, they have boyfriends, eh? Maybe let's put it in that way. What is this person, you know, doing about it? So I'm sure she just messes up on herself. Someone there, as we're talking. Yes, we appreciate the initiatives that the government and the healthy sector are putting in place, but then, you know, okay, concerning these things are bringing preventive measures. When it comes to, you know, a girl falling, you know, pregnant and all. There are many initiatives. I don't know if you've done research.
And actually,
I don't know if you've heard.
Actually, Alexander, before I forget my thought, when it comes, you know, period is not just when you're just a girl. Even when a woman just delivers a child, they have to menstruate maybe a week. And what type of sanitary pads are they supposed to use? Because there's also maternity pads. Does anyone have that access to those type of pads? You see, so even just those who are living with girl children with disability, you know, mothers in such situation, they need to be valued the most. I know this, like there's a policy that the persons with disability, they are put as a first priority, but as it stands now, it's just on paper. But there are so many mothers, women out there with children with special needs, but how many go there to maybe donate pads, not by asking, not by donation, but just the government to prioritize that you need to find these pads maybe at a health clinic, especially when we are a persons with disability, or maybe having some counselors to counsel them, because mentally they are not okay. It's easy, like now we are talking, but if it's in your family, trust me, it will affect you so much. It will really affect you so much. So it's the whole circle. It's not just a girl child, a woman, but also the persons with disability and those who are taking the caregivers. So it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and of course, from this, you know, the conversation that, you know, the three of us are having in the studio this morning, you can tell that there's just so much as a country that we need to do. If we really have to fight period poverty, we need to be very intentional.
Exactly.
We need to be very deliberate, starting from, you know, family level. Starting from family level, like you know, he gave an example. How many parents who can afford to you know, buy glossaries, add pants to say, I've got a girl child, or I've got, you know.
And if you've just reached at a certain age, you are not even added in the budget. They just know that, okay, first I will just buy it
on her own.
I saw actually a meme. The one who brought it Koromone.
Honestly,
yeah, it's true.
It's very, very sad.
It's true. So there's just so much that you know we need to do, and this conversation can go on and like, you know, we are unpacking a lot of things. You know, the two of you who have got first-hand experience, you see these things happening in these communities as you go about sensitizing, teaching, you know, young women and, you know, young girls about menstruation, donating pads. You are experiencing these things first-hand, and not just not in Lusaka, but outside Lusaka as well, in the rural parts of Lusaka. You have seen the difficulties that, you know, parents or children are going through, you know, when it comes to period poverty. So it's really a message that has to, we need to continue pushing, and not just talking about it because it's menstrual hygiene day. These are conversations that we need to continue having on a daily basis until we see we reach a point whereby you know, maybe a sanitary pad can even be 5 kwacha.
Exactly.
You know?
Actually, even just free the way the condom, you know, like in Ministry of Health or Education, consistently, they have like a number of big projects. But just to prioritize donation or maybe pads for free, it's going to take a long time. I was very happy when I saw that project for the government to say they will be donating pads in schools. But still, if I ask, I've done a bit of some research, like how many receive the pads. You find they'll just say, like, when they have like an accident, maybe every month, 1 per month. Like, it's not consistent. Yes, it's a very good move, but it's not benefiting the whole. And
not reaching the
and
coverage.
actually it shouldn't just be girls in school. Even for me, I've got the right to receive.
Yes.
It's a right for me to receive. It's a right for me to be dignified.
These are policies
Yes.
in Parliament.
Exactly.
And also,
Yes.
you know, the word itself, period poverty.
Yes.
Poverty. Now, you need
Yeah.
to understand the key term, poverty. Poverty is inability
Yes.
to have access to sanitation,
Yes.
to clean water, to quality
Yes.
pads. Now, also, if you're unable to, maybe because they'll just limit it to those in schools.
Yes.
What if those in universities are unable to? What if those
And it's
home
happening
sitting?
actually. It's
What
happening.
about
is,
the
it
cripples
is.
and all that?
It's happening.
If also it becomes a policy of just saying, you know, only those in schools, maybe for emergency cases, but okay, what if I can't manage? What do I do? I'm crippled. What
And
do I do?
and actually, even what you've mentioned, many young people or many youths, we don't have jobs. We don't have sustainable jobs. Even just for you to maintain yourself, to look good, it takes like you need to have like 1,000, you know.
1,000 plus.
Yes, 1,000 plus. So now, just for you to have sanitary products every month, and you know, Womba, these are the things that we also teach the girls. Like when you're on your menses, there are certain pants that you need to wear. Obviously, not sensitive colors, but black, red, and so forth, so that they don't stain your pants in case maybe you mess up or something. And you also need like a tight pant that can hold the sanitary towel. So imagine, even up to now, even just when you have this conversation, you ask your fellow women, even just here at work, they'll tell you that they lack. At sometimes they don't even have money because they've got a lot of basic needs, because the food basket currently
Yeah.
it's about 10,000 just for a normal Zambian family to cater just food minus sanitary pads.
And you're talking about a woman or a girl child having that proper pant that
Yes.
will hold that sanitary
Yes.
towel. When you go to rural areas, we have situations whereby a girl does not even have maybe that pant.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's torn.
It's torn, yes.
You see, yes.
And also, I think one of my colleagues had mentioned, you know, she said something like, you know, it's not healthy for a lady to have the same pants, like changing the same pants over and over.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Like maybe after a month, after I don't know how they.
You need to have
Mostly
new
it's
pants,
three
yes.
3 months.
I
Most
don't know about
Yes.
that, but
Yeah.
it's a different case when it comes to guys. You know, you have diseases such as fungal and all that. And we talked about also not just having the quality sanitary pads, but also is there any facility that is clean?
Exactly.
How many schools? Let's get away from Rhodes Park, you know, Great North Road.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
it's amazing
yes,
talking
yes.
about Great North Road. I'm sure they have all those because of the money they pay, right?
Yes.
True.
But what of these who don't pay money?
No government schools.
They only prioritize those who pay money. If you talk about Great North Road, okay, let's introduce this. They can, because their parents pay a lot of money.
Yes, true.
So it's possible and it's easy. What of these getting the free services? What of these waiting for Elsbe? 750.
And you know, I appreciate your point, because menstruation, it also goes hand in hand with how we dispose.
True.
And many places, they don't have like sanitary bins. You know, bins are different. For a sanitary bin, it needs to be covered. No one should see your pads.
Yeah.
But when you go in universities, like maybe the University of Zambia, they don't have proper sanitary bins, because for me, if I go in a bin, I dispose like this, it has to cover it automatic so that I don't get to see that. And how I dispose, it's also part of education. A girl child needs to have like all the time a paper. And a girl child, they shouldn't use unsafe sanitary pads, like maybe tissue, papers and newspaper. No, you know. So because of period poverty, sometimes it's by accident. They don't know they you know, like period, it also work with the psychological side of it.
He's already mentioned
Yes. And it can just like happen. Maybe if I'm too excited, maybe if I'm too sad, it can come.
Yeah.
Yes. So in such scenarios, such cases where there are no, because I've seen there are no proper sanitary bins, even in companies. It's just maybe they'll put just a normal bin and a plastic. And also, it's the issue with the council. Like those who are aspiring, they need to consider also those things. If we go in slum areas like Mtendele, Baulen, and whatever, they don't allow to dig pits. And those who have petra trees, it's an added advantage, you can throw. Yes. But if in your home you have just like a normal toilet, you can't also flush. It will block. And these are like issues. And if it's in slum areas, these communities, people keep dogs. You find you've put in a plastic, your pads will be all over.
That's true.
And we have a lot of advocates that advocate for climate change, but they don't also advocate for gender equality when it comes to menstruation, on how women, they need to have proper access to this sanitary disposal and whatever. And it also goes hand in hand. If we look at the rural girls, they have to fetch water maybe a distance. So imagine you're at home, for you to walk to fetch water, you come back, you come and bath, and you have to bath 3 times a day. If it's in these slum areas, sometimes they have limited time to say you come and fetch in the morning, maybe 12 hours, and you have to fetch long distances. And suppose you don't have a brother, you are sick, you've got cramps. Do you think it's something easy? It's not.
The challenges are many.
So many.
So many challenges.
So many. Yes, many.
Like I said, we can continue. We can have this conversation actually the whole day, because there's just so much to touch on. But as we're about to conclude, our topic of conversation today, and of course as we continue to observe Menstrual Hygiene Day, what message would you like to send to policymakers in Zambia, from both of you, under 2 minutes each?
Okay.
Under 2 minutes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I feel for me is first, the people should have a different perception of what period is, especially us, the guys. I'm a victim.
Yes.
Us, the guys, should have a different approach, because who doesn't have a girlfriend? I'm sure most people in university, even in secondary, they have girlfriends.
And I'm sure when Foster brought up the issue of, instead of getting her roses, get her in a packet
exactly.
of
Yes.
That will keep her for the whole year.
For the whole year.
So I'm sure
no chocolate.
Not chocolate. And also the ladies, the teens, the youth, they should also have open conversations with their boyfriends. These people, they call my man. Also, they will not understand.
Exactly.
They'll just make it a mockery of you. Parents should prioritize, while making the budget, to think of their children, especially the mothers. The mothers, I'm sure the fathers, through the mothers, they know what period is. But for me, a youth, I really don't know, because it doesn't bother me. I'm not so much of that concerned. There are people who are raised in homes where they just grew up as brothers, only brothers. So they don't know about that. Their mother never taught them. So I think it is very much important, if for those who did not have such information, who do not know, they have girlfriends. Those with girlfriends, those with female friends. Female friends should tell us, let us know, this is my situation, and we'll understand. We'll not make a mockery of you. The policy makers, they shouldn't make it to be something of a big issue. They should rather prioritize and make it to say it's so much important. The same way we give free condoms, it's the same way we should be consistent.
Consistency is
I
what
talked
we're
about
looking
the
for.
word consistency. Consistency is what matters the most. Yes, things can come, as projects. Everyone is excited. But then there's lack of consistency. So I think the policymakers, the government, the healthy workers, there's so much to do. Those with schools, those teachers, I'm sure even the male teachers can, have open conversations with the guys. Just bring an issue in class. But even, let me take you back in school. When we were in grade 5, talking about sex issues, no, you can't talk about it. It's a myth. Even up to now, you can't talk about it. No, you can't say that. Why? Why can't we not say that? But yet, these people were afraid of turning. They are the people doing this kind of activities. No, don't talk about sex. But do you know what your child does when she goes to school? Most of them, maybe they don't even reach school. They turn, and then they go and have that sex. imagine learning from somewhere else. So it's better we learn, and then at the end of the day, me myself, I'll judge myself and say, okay, I think I was taught. It's just me who does not want to listen. So I feel there's more to do, especially to the guys. We should learn. If we can't learn, if we can't teach ourselves, we can't read, we should approach. We have female friends. If you don't have female friends, you have sisters. If you don't have sisters, you have a mother. Yeah, I think. Thank you so much.
Or join Girls on Empowerment like you.
Yes.
Why not? Why not?
Yes.
Yes, Foster, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. My last remarks is one, what the government needs to do, it's a deliberate move to make it as a normal thing at all time, and to make sure for them to put policies in different companies where a girl child or a woman, they shouldn't say like, okay, today I'm not coming for work because I'm on my period. The moment you just see that every month somebody is off work, they should just automatic know that he's on Mother's Day, not whereby no, it's a process, I need to pass through the HR and whatever. To me, as a girl's advocate or a gender equality advocate, I say we need to normalize such policies, like doing a deliberate move. If I've missed work in a month or twice, they should just know that she's on Mother's Day. And aside to that, they should make sure the companies that sells sanitary pads, despite it's a good quality, it's a what, it absorbs a lot, it does whatever, they should also have the same price. Like for standard, if it's 20 kwacha, it's 20 kwacha. If it's 10 kwacha, it's 10 kwacha. Because I know that they are investors, and they are here also to make profit, but they should also put a deliberate move. I know that each and every day I pay tax. When I go at the mall, there is a deduction on my receipt.
Yeah, true.
And that same amount, automatic, it should go to a girl child. Like, if it means paying these companies that are in the country, if it's soft care or whatever, so that it's an easy thing they can manage. Even on CDF, there's a fund for the women. They can also do a certain percentage. They know a population, like how many women are in the country. They know that, okay, the girl children in school, they are this much. Those that are in offices, they have already counted us. Automatic, we also buy things every day, and they cut that amount. It should also go direct to those companies, and it can be free for everybody. That's like a cry for me for that policy to be enforced. And aside to that, they should also prioritize for the persons with disability. It shouldn't be we shouldn't negotiate. Those ones, even if me, it's not for free, but those ones, they know a number. There are few. It's not like people with disability, there are a lot. There are few. And they should just automatic give out for free without negotiating. How many mothers are there who are keeping those persons with disability? We have boarding schools where they have these Cheshire homes. They should just be taking free boxes, not waiting for a foundation like Girls On, which is not even funded, but it's doing their best to mobilize. On top of that, even just a government official can't even buy a ticket for 1,000. You see, they can't prioritize that, but what they prioritize is things that doesn't even add value to a woman or to the nation. If you empower me as a girl child, you've empowered the whole nation, you've empowered the whole family in general. And in these families, schools, everywhere, we need to normalize to have such conversation without being discriminated, to take it as a human right where everyone needs to enjoy it. So for me, this is my plea, and I'm so grateful for this day. And Girls On has just taken a deliberate move. Like, this is a conversation that is throughout our work. And next month, God willingly, we are supposed to be in Livingstone to teach and to donate the sanitary pads. And we urge all the listeners out there, those that are touched with the conversation that we've had, people through this just open conversation like that, people charge many millions. But for Girls on Empowerment, we volunteer our time, we volunteer our skills, we volunteer all our effort just to give back to the community, because it's not something that is forced. We are happy to do it. We breathe menstrual hygiene because we know that period poverty, it's real. We want every girl child to be in school without being limited because of a sanitary product. So sanitary products, we have so many companies that offer perfumes, that offer sanitary pads, all these things that are in line with hygiene. And also the beans, those that are aspiring for mayoral positions. These are the things that you need to consider without even doing a research like, oh, me, I'm going to be a mayor. So what am I supposed to do? I need to go back to the community and research. It's not something that you need to research. It's something that you just have to see like, okay, for a girl child, what's the first priority? It's period, because it's a biological makeup that I shed out blood, not because I wished or whatever. I was born like that. Yeah.
Indeed. To some people who might want to know to be part of Girls on Empowerment, how can they do that? You can just give out your socials or your numbers, and maybe they would want to partner with Girls on Empowerment in case we do have someone tuned in and they would want to just be part of Girls on Empowerment.
Okay, amazing. So for us, we normally host our activities. Our offices are just we are partnering with Action Aid at Global Platform Zambia. That's where we host most of our activities, and you can find us on Facebook, which is Girls on Empowerment, and you can find us on TikTok, where we post all our activities every opportunity on TikTok, because we know most of the generation now, they are on TikTok. And you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter. And our number, if you want to partner with us, if you want to donate, even banks where they have that fund for corporate social responsibility, we are open to that. And especially on this day, we are open for you to buy maybe 2 boxes, 1 box, or even more. You can even do more. We are very open because we have a rural outreach program that will happen next month at Mukuni ceremony, and we are still open for you to donate. You can just call us on 0961 437379, 0961 437379. On email, it's mutifoster@gmail.com. It's my direct email. And also just on our socials, we do post our details where you can reach us from. So we are open to partner with any organization. At the end of the day, we have different reports. It's not about competing with the work that we do. It's about helping that vulnerable girl who is facing different situations or challenges, because we are trying to break different inequalities that exist in a girl.
Foster and Alexander, it's been a pleasure having both of you in the studio as we observe menstrual hygiene day to day to just tackle this conversation. And I'm glad that we've brought out a lot of issues and of course challenges that women and girls continue to face when it comes to period poverty in Zambia. And just a reminder to our leaders out there, to our policymakers, that there is just so much to do regarding to period poverty. Let's be more deliberate, more intentional, to just do more when it comes to putting the girl child first. So it's been quite a great conversation, very enlightening as well, and hoping to have you back again soon.
Yes, thank you so much. We are yes.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in. In case you're just tuning in, you've missed out on a great conversation. It is Menstruation Hygiene Day today, and of course we had Foster Fedora, and she is the CEO and founder of Girl Zone Empowerment, and also Alexander Muhango, who is Girl Zone Associate. He is also a mental health advocate. fighting period poverty in Zambia was our topic of conversation today. So if you have been tuned in, I know you have learned quite a lot. Let's be deliberate. If you do have a girl child, you have girl children in your home, be deliberate about, just providing those, sanitary towels to them each and every single month. If you're a leader out there, look at, your community. What can you do to fight period poverty in Zambia? It has been the Mid-Morning Report, and of course, that was our conversation for today. Do stay tuned. I will be back on the other side.
When you tune into Capital.